We're going to start this moment for Steve on all the resources. We will receive Miss Jamil. Will all hearts say amen? Miss Jamil Thomas. There you go.
I missed y'all last week. That was my first time ever I had missed Money Matters. I was sitting at home sick, watching y'all on live. How was Corey? Was he well behaved? Okay, he ain't as fun as me, but you know, I sent him anyway. Well, we are excited. This is my favorite class. Investments are my favorite because it helps me create wealth not only for myself and for my family, but also for the people around me, right? Like, who want to sit around people who just talk about being broke all the time, right? Talking about what we don't have, what we could do. Look at what they got. You know, social media now make it look at what they got, but then you looking at what they got, and now we got AI, so you don't know if what they got is real or not. Okay, 90% of it is fake. Okay, so don't even stress yourself about that. Years and years ago, I don't know, I've known Deacon Thomas all my life, but one Sunday at church, he was like those shoes? I was like, okay, Deacon Thomas, yes. You know, I like shoes. I had bought a lot of them. And Deacon Thomas was like, yeah, but you wasting a whole lot of money. I was like, but I'm cute, though. And so Deacon Thomas worked with me on some strategies on how to be cute and have wealth. Everybody say amen. You can do both. You can enjoy life. You can look good. You can enjoy time with your children, your grandchildren, your family, and still be able to have wealth, right? Without a whole lot of sacrifice. All we have to do is begin to shift our mindset. Those of you that have been here before, welcome back. Those of you who have been here, who's been here for the whole summer sizzle? Y'all have done all 3 classes for some, nobody? Okay, perfect attendance. 3? I missed one. I would have had perfect attendance, but y'all know. And so we're excited tonight what Deacon Thomas is going to share with us. Even if you have been to investment class before, it is different every single time, mainly because the market changes, right? The way we invest our money and what's happening with our money, things change. Deacon Thomas got on me last week because I hadn't looked at my stuff. There had been some changes, and he needed to make sure I had taken advantage of those changes. And so he is one of the best to ever do it. So come on up, Deacon Thomas.
Testing, pretty good. All right, how's everybody doing tonight? I am so excited to be here. Let me tell you a little history first about this particular class and how it got started. This class has been going on almost about 15 years now. 15 years ago, being one of the deacons of the church, I was asked to create a financial class for the people who went through our missions program. St. Mark has a missions program where we give money back to our members when life happens. Life happens, doesn't it? So you get a divorce, you lose a job, get behind on bills. Every Wednesday night, the deacons sit down and meet members of our church, and sometimes they're not members of our church, and we help them financially get back on their feet. At the time, Deacon Tom Bennett asked me, he said, Charles, you in finances, can you create something to help these people manage their money so they don't have to come back through this program? And that's how Money Matters got started 15 years ago. Within a class just like this, I committed every first Saturday from 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock to teach on money management to that particular group of people. The pastor was walking through like this one Saturday morning. He said, Charles, I'm going to sit through the whole class. So he sit through the whole class. He said, man, we got to do this for the whole church. I said, what? He said, yeah, well, this information is too powerful. We need to do it for the entire church. So that's how Money Matters got started almost 15 years ago. And the important thing about that, we had over 10,000 people in the last 15 years go through Money Matters, online and offline. Give St. Mark a hand. Give our leadership a hand. Dr. Philip Pointer is a big proponent. Discipleship pastor, Pastor Thomas. Now we have our new discipleship pastor. He just left out the young man earlier. We call him Minister KJ. A little bit about myself. I've been at St. Mark forever. My family, we've been there since the 80s. And we've seen a lot of change over the last 30, 40 years being at St. Mark. Tonight, there was going to be a very fast-moving class. We're going to cover a lot of stuff in the next 2 hours. The first break is going to probably come about 6:50. 6:50. Take a break, come grab a bite to eat, then we'll come right back, get started again. We're going to finish up that last hour. Now, I gave you guys some homework last week that was here. Can anybody tell what that homework was last week? All right, Mr. Martin, what were you supposed to do last week? Open a Charles Schwab account. How many people open their Charles Schwab accounts? Oh, we just got a few, huh? You couldn't get back in? Okay. Okay, that's fine. But the objective for everybody in this particular class is to open a brokerage account with Charles Schwab. Because tonight, I want to take the fear away from you not wanting to invest. Why do people have fear with investing? Because of what? They think they're going to lose money, right? Okay. Can you afford not to invest, though, in real life? Why not? What did he say? He says inflation is real. Anybody else? Can you afford not to invest? No? That's good. I don't have a lot of answers, so we're going to get started. Here we go. Our hopes that you will reflect on your relationship with God and your money. You will discover tools to enable you to manage your finances rather than allow your finances to manage you. You will leave with a deep sense of confidence with God's help that you can do this. After this class, you will have a deep sense of confidence. Does everybody have a booklet? Does everybody have a risk profile? Does everybody have a risk profile? If you don't have a risk profile, hold your hand up. Risk profile. Okay. Let me get my friends from Arvest over there. We don't have any risk profiles. Can we get a couple of them print off? Matter of fact, let me give Arvest a big shout out. Arvest has been a major, supporter over the last 10 to 12 years of this particular program. They provide the meals, they provide the booklets, we provide the teachers and information. It's been a great partnership with Arvest. I want to thank one of the vice presidents, Mr. Marcus Gwynn, back to his team. Give them a hand. Yeah. And do you have the risk profile with you? If you don't have a risk profile, raise your hand. It's very important you have a risk profile tonight. You got something coming? Okay, great. Let's get started. Tonight, we're going to be talking about stocks, mutual funds, how to maximize your retirement plans, and some do's and don'ts for first-time investors. How many people own a stock? Okay, got a few. How many people got a 401k? Got a TSP? Got a 403B? Got a pension plan? If you got a 403B, a TSP, or 401k, you probably own stocks or mutual funds inside that particular plan, okay? Before we start, this is education and not financial advice from Charles Thomas. I am a financial advisor. I've been a financial advisor for the last 30 plus years, but tonight I'm not your financial advisor, okay? Everybody got that? This is strictly educational. St. Mark also has a disclaimer that they're not endorsing any type of investments or anything we're doing for you to use. This is strictly educational. Everybody got that? Stop me at any time and ask a question. There's no bad question. Tonight, I gave you a worksheet. It says 1 page, but it's about 3 pages. Everybody got a worksheet? About 3 pages long, worksheet. If you don't have a worksheet, raise your hand. Very important tonight.
So what does the profile look like then?
Okay. You got a booklet here? Can I see your booklet?
Oh, yes, we got
Yeah. See if we find your profile in here. It's in the little booklet here. Jermaine, you got one? A profile we can show everybody what it looks like? Let me see this profile. I don't see no profile. Yeah, that's it right there. She got a profile. You have that? Okay, she's getting some copies made now. You got to have a risk profile tonight. Okay? What we'll cover today, why should you invest? We're going to talk about inflation, compounding, CDs, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, diversification, why, retirement accounts, and how to maximize those. And we're going to talk about fees. Sometimes people don't invest because they get caught up on fees. Why do people get caught up on fees? Fees. They don't understand it, right? Let me put this in your brain right now. I want you to get your thinking just right. If I had a low-cost investment that had very little fees, but had mediocre returns, and I had a high-fee investment that had exceptional returns, which one do you want? The high one, right? So what I want you to think about tonight, I want you to think about returns. Returns. You want double-digit returns in your investments. I want you to start shifting your mindset right now and start thinking about double-digit returns. We're talking about 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15%. We're not talking about 3, 4, 5, and 6%. So first you got to shift your mindset on what kind of return I want. What's the difference between saving and investing? Saving is a goal. You keep your money safe and accessible. Best for emergency funds, short-term goals, savings account, checking account. There's very little growth, and your money may be lost to inflation. The risk is very low. That's a checking account, a savings account, a savings, short-term. Investing, grow your money faster than inflation. Retirement goal, 5 and 6 accounts, 401ks, and IRAs. Historically higher over a long-term period, and the risk of loss is real when you invest. You can lose money investing, but it depends on your time horizon, how much time you got from now to retirement if you lose that money. The longer time you have to invest, you're about 95 to 100% positive if you got 10 years plus to invest. If you got more than 10 years to invest, you got the right investment, you should end positively. Tonight I'm going to show you a mutual fund I've been talking about for the last 7, 8 years. And that mutual fund right now this year is up 65+% this year. Now, when I say up in percentages, do you understand what that means, percentage? If a stock or a CD or something has a percentage, do you understand what that means? An interest rate that it pays you, the simple stuff. So I want you guys, it's going to be a real simple class tonight. I want you to understand this. We're going to show you an example of what that looks like. Well, let's just talk about it. If you had $1,000 and you earned 10% on it, how much did you earn? $1,000, right? What was the interest rate to earn that $1,000? Think about it. $1,000, you earned 10%. You had $1,000, you earned 10%, you earned $100, right? What was the interest rate to earn that $100? 10%. So when we start looking at our money, we're looking at how much return can we get back on our investment, right? 3%, 5%, 10%. The higher the return, the more money you make, right? Understand. Very important to understand investing. We're to match your risks with your time horizon. If you got short-term goals, we're talking about 3 years or less. We're talking about the most. 3 to 10 years, we're talking about a car, education, a flexible date. That money should be in a blend of stocks and bonds. Long-term goals, that's 10 plus years, we're talking about retirement. You can take more risks. You can handle the market going up and down. So what's your time horizon? Notes, one at a time schedule here. Take good notes. This is what we call an investor profile. An investor profile tells me and it tells you what kind of investor you are. Whether you're moderate, whether you're conservative, whether you're aggressive, you can't invest unless you know what kind of investor you are. It says find a suitable investment strategy. Your investing strategy should reflect the kind of investor you are, your personal investment profile. This quiz will help you determine your profile and then match it to the investment strategy that best fits you. The first part of the profile is your time horizon. When will you begin withdrawing money from your account or your investment, at what rate? If it's many years away, there may be more time to weather markets going up and down. You got it? Your risk tolerance, how do you feel about risk? Some investments fluctuate more dramatically in value than others, but have potential for higher returns. So we got to understand how much time you're going to need the money. Number two, what kind of risk can you handle the market going up and down? Let's take a look at what that looks like. Okay, time horizon. It's only got 2 questions. I plan to start withdrawing my money in my investments less than 3 years, 3 to 5 years, 6 to 10 years, or 11 years or more. Write your answer down whether you got the sheet or not. Time horizon. Write your answer down. And whatever side that answer you write down the points on the right side. Those are points. 1, 3, 7, and 10 are points. Understanding your risk profile. Anybody got questions there? Question number 2. Once I begin withdrawing funds from my investments, I plan to spend all the funds in less than 2 years, 2 to 5 years, 6 to 10 years, or 11 years or more. Write down the years and write down the points beside it. You got a pen?
No, sir.
Oh, she needs a pen over here, guys. Anybody need a pen? You see better over there? Okay. All right. Everybody understand, your time horizon is adding 1 and 2 points. So your score should look like this. If it's 6 to 10 years, that's 7 points. If it's 11 years or more, that's 8 points, for a total of 15 points. So your time horizon tells me you have a score of 15. All right? Now let's talk about your risk. If your score is less than 3, it indicates a very short time period, then you don't need to be investing. If your score is 3 or less, you need to put your money into CDs, bonds, and cash equivalents. You don't have time to put your money in the market. And we'll talk about why in a second, okay? Now, your risk tolerance. I would describe my knowledge in investments as what? None, limited, good, or extreme. Write your points down. When I invest my money, I am most concerned about the investment losing value, equally concerned about my investment losing or gaining value, most concerned about my investment gaining value. Whatever points is you, write it down and circle it. Okay? Select the investment you currently own. Bonds, stocks, international funds. Example, you own stock funds in the past, you purchased international securities, you would be an 8. Select the investments that you currently own. Also, take a look at your mutual funds. If you own some of those investments inside your mutual funds, your 401ks, your TSPs, your 403bs, that's where you would qualify those investments. Okay? Consider the scenario. Imagine in the past 3 months, the overall stock market lost 25% of its value. An individual stock investment you own also lost 25% of its value. What would you do? How about that? The stock market lost 25% of its value. Your individual investment lost 25% of its value. Review the chart. We've outlived we've outlined the most likely, best case, and worst case annual returns of 5 hypothetical investment plans. Which range of possible outcomes is most acceptable to you? The figures are hypothetical and do not represent the performance of any particular investment. A, average return, you're gonna get on this investment around 7.2%. The best case return you can get is 16.3%. The worst case is 5.6%. If that fits you, you like that kind of investment, you circle that, okay? B, the average return is 9%, best case 25, worst case 12.1. C, 10.4, 33.6, and 18.2 and 6. D, 11.7. As you see, as the average returns go up, the best case scenario goes up, but also the worst case scenario, losing money, goes down at 24%. E, 12.5%, 50%, 28.2%, and the points correlate, okay? So write down your score of all of those, add all the scores up, you get a risk tolerance score of 28 here. Can somebody tell me what your time score is compared to your risk score? Let's talk about that for a second. Can somebody tell me what that looks like? Your time score compared to your risk score. Time score compared to risk score. Throw me out some numbers. What's your time score? What is it? Yeah. His time score is 10, okay? What's your risk score? Okay, go ahead and add them up for me. Who's next? Give me a time score. What's your time score? Brian? Brian's time score is 20. What's your risk score? 22. One more person. Give me a time score and a risk score. Time score and risk score. Somebody. Yours is what? It's Dietrich, right? Dietrich is 18 and 40. Miss Martin, what is yours? 7 and 30. Okay. What's yours back there? Yeah. All right, now, this is good, right? This is good. This is good. We're going to stop right here. Dietrich, what was yours? 18 and 40. Dietrich's score is 18 and 40. Let's take a look at what that looks like. Brother Steve, you got a score? No. Oh, okay. Let's take a look at what that looks like. Dietrich, yours is 18, right? Everybody see that? Dietrich is going to be right down here in the 14 to 18 points. His time score is way down here. Everybody see that? 14 to 18 points. Everybody see that? Now, his risk score at the very top up there is 40. Can somebody tell me what kind of investor he is? He's what? He's really aggressive, isn't he? All right. Now, I got somebody that had a 7. Miss Martin, that's you? She's down here with a 7. And what's your other score, Miss Martin? 30. Her other one is a 30. So she's moderately, let's take a look at it. 14 to 18 points and 28 would make that person a moderate. Everybody, moderate aggressive. You see that? Moderate aggressive. So on your chart, I need you to determine what kind of investor are you based off that illustration. Miss Manning, how you doing today? Can somebody tell me what kind of investor they are?
Moderate aggressive.
You're moderate aggressive? Okay. You're aggressive, okay. Anybody else? What kind of investor are you tonight? You what? Conservative? I figured you was conservative. So let's take a look at what this means. If I know your risk score, then I can tell you what stocks to mix up inside your investment portfolio. This investor, they're okay with a 9.9% average return year in and year out. They're okay with a best year of 34.4%, and they're okay with a worst year of 29.5%. And what it tells me, how should that money be invested? Where it says, you see those little charts down there? The large blue right there says 45% of their money should be put into large cap equity companies. You see that? It automatically diversifies where your money should go if you're that kind of investor. It says, secondly, that on the small cap side, you should have 15% of your money in small cap. That's the dark 15%. And the light blue one says you should have 20% of your money in international equity in other companies across the world. And then the yellow part says you need about 15% of your money in fixed income. And the other part go into cash. This person is moderately aggressive based off the chart. And historicals, if they split their investments up like that, that's the kind of return they should expect year in and year out. That's a model chart to teach you which kind of investments to put inside your investments. Any questions concerning that? Okay?
So it says it gives you an annual return and it also has.
Okay.
So the chart.
Is it on? Yeah. Make sure you don't put your hand on top of it there. Put it in the center. Yeah. Right there. Yeah. Go ahead. Speak.
So the chart has the annual return, best year, worst year. So what do you do if hypothetically you do hit that best year percentage? Do you hold? Do you pull out?
Okay. Her question was, the chart gives the best year and the worst year. It says, what if you get that best year of 34.4%? She says, do you hold or do you pull out? Now, what did I say investments? What's the timeline on investments? When you invest in money, it's for what? Long periods of time. So that 34.4% is a good question. That means if you got a long-term investment, You want a long-term opportunity. It's not short-term. That's why when you put money into investments, you got to make sure it's a long-term thing you're doing. If you're looking for a short-term opportunity, then we're talking about something totally different. It can be inside of an investment, but it's got to be an investment you got immediate access to, kind of a cash-type program, like a CD or a bond or something that has almost zero risk if you don't want to handle the risk, okay? We'll get into that a little bit later, but I want you to understand what your risk profile says about you. That's why this chart is so important. Anybody got any questions about this chart? Does it make sense? Dr. Randall?
So if your company is matching, do you still not invest if short term? If your company is going to match and you know you have a short term.
Yeah. So the question is that if you have a short-term period you got before you retire, et cetera, should you keep investing? That's what you're saying, right? Of course you should keep investing, but for a person that's got 10 plus years to work, they may be down here to moderate aggressive or aggressive allocation. For a person that's got maybe 3 to 10 years to work, they don't want to take the risk, they may be over there in conservative or moderate conservative. You see how it works? So as you get older, you get close to your retirement age, you don't want to put your money at risk. So at that point, you start paring your investments back to be more conservative so you can handle the risk. So if you notice over here, in a conservative allocation, average return is around 7.6. If the aggressive over here is 9.9. So you give up the potential of 2.2 points in returns, right? However, but look at this. The worst year is 4.6. The worst year over here is 29.5. So can you imagine a person got $100,000 in a retirement account and they lost 4.6%, which is only about $4,600, right? Compared to losing $29,000. You see the difference? So that person that has a longer term to get to that retirement age, they're going to recover that 29.5% within the next 2 or 3 years. But the person only got 3 to 5 years left, they lose $29,000. It may take this particular chart. The point is, don't put all your eggs in one basket. One stock, 100% single company, that means that company fails or goes bad, guess what happens to your money? If it's diversified, it's spread across several hundred companies, it's diversified. If one company struggles, the impact of the total investment is small. So diversification is very, very important when you invest. Don't load a lot of money into one company. Some of you guys are pretty young. You remember a company called Enron years ago? Enron out of Houston was one of the largest oil companies on the planet. Within a period of 7 to 10 days, their stock went from over $100-something a share to almost zero. People had millions of dollars inside their retirement plans. They couldn't even get it out in time before they lost all that money in Enron. Pretty amazing, isn't it? That's why you cannot, I don't care if you work for Federal Express, all these great companies, or who you work for, do not load all of your money in one company, because Enron can happen to you again, because everybody thought Enron was a very, very strong, stable company. But guess what? They were hiding a lot of financials that people didn't know about. So always diversify in your investments. Investing is when your money is expecting a return. We just talked about that. That $1,000 you earn, 10% you earn $100. So investing, your money is expecting a return. Got it? How do you know if it's growing? This is very interesting because I like to call this series called The Banker's Secret. You ever notice that? How do they make all that money? They don't make anything. All they do is hold your money. So how do they make all that money? Investing. They understand the power of compound interest. I want you to write this formula down. This is very important for you to understand long-term investing. The Banker's Secret uses a rule. Everybody got that? If you're earning 2 or 3% on your money, and you divide that by 72, it's going to tell you how long it's take that money to double. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at that. Example, Kate has $10,000 in her savings account at her bank. Kate is getting 2% on her $10,000. Okay. Using the rule of 72, how long is it going to take Kate to double her $10,000 to $20,000? If I'm using the rule of 72, I take 72, I divide it by 2%, And it tells me how long it's going to take that money to double in value, right? So how long is it going to take Kate to double that money? 36 years. 36 years. That's called compound interest when your money doubles in value. So the first rule of investing is you got to get as much return on your money as you can because you want that money to double as fast as it can, right? So let's take a little bit deeper. 36 years. We're going to give you an example of 4%. That means that 4%, that money is going to double every 18 years. I got a 30-year-old person in the room. They got $10,000 they saved and invested. They're getting 4% at their local bank. That means every 18 years, from 30 to 48 goes to 20 into 66. Oh, what happened here? Oh, there it is. Okay. Then from 48 to 6, so $40,000. But it took them 36 years to double that money because it was earning 4% a year, right? Everybody got that? So here's my question. If I want to double that money to $80,000 instead of $40,000, how much interest do I need to earn on that money? How much? What, 8%? Anybody got an answer?
It's compounded.
Right, that's right. Anybody got an answer for me? There's no wrong answer. Just stay with you.
Like an auction, you just throw it out there.
Yeah.
You got 8 over here, what we got over here.
80,000 by what age we talking about?
Take a look at it. Let's say. How about 6? Now, why did that happen? Why did 6% double that money instead of 8? Because of the compounding effect. The earnings are earning money on top of the principal over and over again. That means you got more money working for you every year. If you had $1,000 invested, you earn 10%, you made $100 that year, so you have $1,100, right? 1,000 plus the 100 you made is 1,100, right? On year 2, you don't earn interest on the $1,000, you earn interest on what? The 1,100. So as your earnings accumulate, you earn more money. Now here's the question. This is why I call it the banker's secret. Now, the banker says, bring your money down to our beautiful bank. We're going to safeguard and take care of it. Even some of the insurance companies, they pay you 4 up to 6%. If the banker is paying you 4 to 6%, how much money is the banker earning? Anybody know? Let's talk about it for a second. Do banks have credit cards? What's the interest on their credit cards? 24, 29, 15%, right? Do banks lend people money with bad credit? How much is the interest on those bad credit loans? 15, 16%, right? Did you know last year that the banks made over $30 billion just on overdraft fees? So when you $5 in your ATM taking that money out here, and you got to pay $35, they love you. They love you. So what I'm trying to say, banks are earning way more than 6%. What do you think is a good amount that a bank is earning on your money? 30? Somebody said 30. I don't know about 30. Can we say 12%? Can we say banks are literally earning about 12% of our money that's invested there? I think so, don't you? Let's talk about what not knowing costs you for not knowing this. Let's take a look at this. The same 10, 160, and $640,000 during the same time period. So what is that? The banks got your $600,000 difference because you didn't know. That'll be criminal, shouldn't it? But let me ask you a question. It's called capitalism. How many people got iPhones? Okay. How many got Droids? Okay, I love y'all. Anyway, so if you can make your own iPhone, would you pay $1,000, $2,000 for your phone? You don't know how to do it, do you? So it's called capitalism. The bank says, if I know how to make money on your money and give you 4%, I can do that because I got the knowledge and you don't. Tonight, it all changes. Tonight, I'm going to show you how to get that 12% on your money. Is that okay? You want to see that? Let's keep going. So the first rule of thumb in investing, you got to understand compound interest, right? Everybody got that? You got to understand what your investment profile looks like, right? The second rule is to understand that cash loses value sitting still. Inflation quietly shrinks what your money can buy. A dollar saved today buys less next year, even sitting safely in a check. Inflation quietly shrinks what your money can buy. A dollar saved today buys less next year, even sitting safely in a checking account. Take a look at this. $10,000 held for 20 years with a 3% average in inflation goes down in 5 years, the buying power goes down to $8,600. In 10 years, it goes down to $7,400. And in 15 years, it goes down to $6,400. And in 20 years, your buying power goes down from $10,000 to $5,000 because inflation is eating up your buying power. So the second rule to investing, I gotta get what compound interest, right? I gotta make sure my money is outperforming inflation each year. If inflation is 3%, your money's on there to keep that $300 in the back of your head, $300 a month at 10%, what it does and what time it does if you start late. Starting at 25 years old, $300 a month, you see that? Would grow to $1.8 million. Y'all see that? If you wait just 10 years and start at 35, you're gonna lose, that money's only gonna grow to $678,000. You waited 10 years, took the same money, and you invested it, and how much money did you lose for waiting 10 years? Everybody see that? You lost, is it 800? Where is it at here? 670,000. You about $1.2 million is what you lost. Let's take a better look at it here. Let's go take another look at it this way. Let's take 200. This is simpler. $200 a month invested at 10%, average return till age 65. You start at 25, 40 years, you're gonna earn $1.2 million. Everybody see that? You wait 10 years, you start at 35, you go from 1.2 to $452,000 just by waiting the same $200, but you never caught up because you waited 10 years. And don't mess around and start at 45. The same $200 during the same time period, you only got 20 years worth to grow. You lost over $812,000 between 25 and $12,000 between 25 and 35. So the goal from this particular slide is start now. I don't care if it's $100 a month. Find $100 a month to invest. Do not procrastinate. Procrastination, if you want a guaranteed return on your money, then pay off some debt or you invest, right? Let's take a look at that. If you got a credit card at 20%, a personal loan at 12%, you should probably start paying those things off earlier to create some money for you. But if we go to this chart right here, we got a $8,000 credit card right there. You decided to double up and pay it off in 2 years investment money, but it was $400 a month going into debt at first. So the fourth part of investing is try to make sure, pay your debt down, and repurpose that money to go into investments. Debt, inflation, and not knowing is stealing your wealth. Somebody said, well, Charles, I don't have $400. Well, you paying $400 on credit cards. You eating out every week, aren't you? Let's talk about this chart for a minute. This is a chart that I have to drive home a little bit for you because I need you to understand where you are. $3.33 a day over a 20-year period that you're wasting is costing you $75,000 of your wealth. So we got to recover that $3.33 a day, which is $100 a month. So where's that $3.33 a day? Where's that $100 a month go? Guess where it goes? Subscriptions, takeout, impulse buying, eating out too much. This slide, I'm going to challenge you to find the money, the gaps inside your money, so you would stop wasting money. Because over the next 30 years, it costs almost $250,000. And I can't have you doing that. But see, why am I going through all this stuff concerning investment? Well, you got to have your house in order to invest. If you don't have all this stuff in order and understand how all this stuff works, all you're doing is creating what I call a put and take account. You put the money in there, you take it out. You put the money in, take it out. You have no emergency fund, you don't have anything. So the opposite of wealth is not poor. The opposite of wealth is underdeveloped resources. Where's Candace Woodruff? She here? Candace, thank you for that slide. You know, but I want to talk about this. The opposite of wealth is not poor. The opposite of wealth is underdeveloped resources. What resources am I talking about? Your money is a resource that is underdeveloped because you're not applying it correctly. You're not applying it correctly because you don't know, right? So everybody here tonight get a pass. But when you leave tonight, your pass is about all the things you need to do. Now let's talk about the investment vehicles you need to put money in. A lot of people know about CDs, don't they? Let's talk about the intrinsic value of how a CD works. Here's a CD. Right now, based off today's economy, a competitive one-year CD would pay about a 4% return. That's about right for a CD. Now, most CDs are not taxable, they're not protected from taxes. Give you a prime example. Here's a CD that's earning 4%. That particular CD is going to have to pay somewhere around 22% taxes with state and federal. So the real return on that CD is 3.1% because it takes the 88.88 out for taxes. Everybody see that? So the net return on the CD is 3.1%. See that? After tax return, your net return on the CD is 3.1%. Now, why is that? Because the CD was not protected from taxes. You got money inside of a CD. If you earn $100 or whatever it is, you got to report it on your income tax as income. If you're in a 22% tax bracket, that means you would have lost 0.88 points off your 4%, would have net you out 3.12%. So the CD really didn't pay 4%, it paid 3.1%. Everybody see that? Any questions concerning that? One of my bankers said, I'm sorry, Marcus. We got to talk about this. RS is okay, right? Okay, he's out of here. That's good. Okay. So this is where it really, really gets important. Minus current inflation, consumer price index year over year, inflation has averaged 3.8%. So if I take the 3.8%, the buying power from the 3.1% that he netted out, he actually lost money on the CD, didn't it? Everybody see that? CDs are not great places to invest money. They're okay to hold money for emergencies and things of that nature. You can break money and get into a savings account. But if you got money in CDs, and you really need to get those money out of those CDs and put it in a better place. In your period, a CD grows about $2,000 at 4%, but the buying power only goes down to about $9,000. So be careful of your CDs. Don't use that as an investment, okay? Please don't. So what's a stock? A stock is a small piece where you have ownership of a company. How many people know Walmart? Okay. Anybody own Walmart? One, two, I got about 3 people that own Walmart. Okay. Value can go up or you can go down. A lot of stocks pay dividends. There are no guarantees, of course, but when you own a stock, you own a small, you own an ownership in that company. When you buy one share, you own a tiny slice of that business, but you are a owner. I don't care if you bought $100 worth, you are a owner in Walmart. Everybody got that? That's what a stock is. It allows you to buy ownership into a public company. What's a bond? A bond is essentially a loan. You lend money to a government or company, and they pay you interest. Then return your principal at a set date. Stocks, you're part owner. Bonds, you're a lender. Typical returns on the stocks, a lot higher. Bonds are a lot lower and predictable. Typical risk is higher on a stock. On a bond, it's lower. Dividends, optional. And on a bond, the interest is scheduled. So why would a person buy a bond? Because they don't want to put their money in the market and risk it inside stocks. Bonds are a lot safer. You got your corporate bonds, you got your government bonds, you got your tax-free bonds, all those bonds. Okay. Sounds good, sounds good. All right. Question.
You mentioned that CDs are primarily good for stashing, like an emergency fund. What?
I really don't like.
I'm very loud.
I'm glad you asked that question. I really don't like CDs for emergency funds.
Okay, well, but you did mention
I did,
CDs.
yeah.
What about a high yield savings?
High yield savings, as long as you got access to that money with no restrictions and penalties, be a great place to stash emergency fund.
Okay, so you prefer the high yield as opposed to,
Absolutely.
The CD, okay.
So it doesn't have to restrict. These bonds are safe. These bonds are safer investments. Everybody heard of government fund bonds, what is it? Savings bonds and all that kind of stuff that you used to buy back in the day? I would prefer a high yield corporate bond of any kind of bond. Those high yield corporate bonds, they can return investments as good as mutual funds sometimes. They also have risk too. But you got to make sure, with a bond, you got to make sure let's get into that. You got to make sure the company has a credible history that they pay their bills on time. Because you can't lose money with bonds with a company that's not stable. What is a mutual fund? Now, this right here is what I call the Cadillac of investing, especially beginner investors. Mutual funds are what I call the Cadillac of investing. If you're just getting started investing, the mutual fund is the very best place to start. And I'm going to show you in just a second, okay? Many investors pool their money. Mutual funds where a bunch of investors come together. They pool their money. They buy a basket of stocks, bonds, and other assets managed by a professional money manager. That's really important. These professional money managers at Fidelity, Vanguard, T. Rowe Price, all these major companies, these guys are managing billions of dollars, but they're managing pools of money for everybody across the world. If you had to go hire one of these guys, hey, I go to Tim, I said, Tim, you're a money manager. I want to hire you to manage my money. Tim said, hey, no problem. You got $5 million? See, you just catch that? The average guy can't hire a money manager because you don't have enough money. These guys get up in the morning with a cup of coffee in their hand, and all they're doing is watching the screen and managing your money, just like they do for billionaires, but you share your pools of money with everybody across the world. And they hold a lot of different investments. They're priced. At the end of the day, if the market closes around 4 o'clock every day, that's when they're priced. That's what you know they're going to return that particular day. They're actively managed. That means that a manager picks the stocks, and they're bought through a fund company directly or through a brokerage company. That's why you need a Charles Schwab brokerage account so you can buy a high. Is the exchange-traded fund. Is the exchange-traded fund also holds a basket investment, but trades on exchange throughout the day, just like a stock. Throughout the day, a stock price is changing all the time. Mutual fund prices don't change till after 4 o'clock. ETFs is a basket. Vanguard has an ETF called VTI, Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF. It's got 3,600 companies in it. Y'all see that? 3,600 companies inside that one ETF. So if you bought that ETF from Vanguard on Charles Schwab platform, you'd have 3,600 companies that your money be split among, 3,600 companies. That lowers your risk of loss. Everybody understand that? The diversification. So what's the difference between an ETF and a mutual fund? Well, a mutual fund is traded once a day after the market close. ETFs, they trade all day. Minimum investment, most mutual funds you can start for as little as $25 actually. ETF, price of one share, often less with fractional shares. Fractional shares means that, let's say you went to Walmart and their stock was $200 a share, and you only had $100 you want to spend. You go to Charles Schwab, you could buy $100 worth of Walmart stock, which is a fraction of share, which means you don't have to buy the entire share. Everybody got that? Called a fraction of share. Why is that important? If Walmart stock goes up 25 or 30% in a year's time, and you got $100 sitting there, that $100 went up 25 or 30%. Although you didn't have the entire share, your money still went up in correlation with that particular stock. Everybody got that? You call fractional correlation with that particular stock. Everybody got that? You call fractional shares. All right. Anyway, typical fees. Mutual funds sometimes can be higher, especially if somebody's managing it. EFTs have very low fees. Where to buy? Fund company or brokerage, any brokerage account. Tax efficiency. Mutual funds sometimes have internal taxes, but if it's performing well, I don't worry about that. And the ETF is mostly tax efficient. Here's a word on index funds. I gave you guys some homework last week when we talked about the S&P 500. What is the S&P?
The S&P.
Yeah, can I speak up a little bit?
The S&P,
Yeah, can I speak up a little bit there?
the S&P is a basket of 500 companies, the largest U.S. companies, and it's a mix of tech, energy, you name it, it's on there. But those are the largest cap.
Large cap companies in the United States, right? Everybody got that? The S&P 500 is an index that has over 500 companies in it, and those companies are not managed. It's very important you get this. This is very important for investing. The S&P 500, those companies inside the S&P are not managed. That means just a pool of companies sitting in there, and whatever they return is what you get. Everybody got that? At the end of the year, how well those companies come together and return is what you get. That's the S&P 500, totally unmanaged. And that's really important because active funds, a manager tries to beat the S&P 500 every year. The S&P 500 is a benchmark. It's totally unmanaged. You take 500 large companies, throw it inside of an index, and you track it. Now, these professional money managers that are paid millions of dollars to manage these accounts, their job is to outperform the S&P 500. If you had a money manager, would you want one to outperform the S&P 500 or one right there with the S&P 500? If he can't outperform the S&P 500, you should just buy what? S&P 500. Y'all got that? Why pay extra fees for something the guy can't outperform? Okay. So how do you evaluate an investment? The first thing you want to do is what's the cost? Check the expense ratio of what does it actually hold? If you bought an investment fund, don't you want to know what it's investing in? Inside that investment fund, you want to go to somewhere called the composition of the fund. Write that down, composition of the fund. You want to know how many companies inside that mutual fund and how well that mutual fund has been doing, composition of the fund, okay? Rated if you buy in the bond. Some buy in the bond. Some places you lend money to have poor credit ratings. You could lose your money inside of a bond, okay? Has it performed, how has it performed versus the benchmark? What's the benchmark? S&P 500. So what you want to look at, compare the relevant index over 5, 10, or 15-year period. Is it beating the benchmark? Is it just doing it one time? Is it doing it all the time? How much does the stock swing? In 2008 and in 2022 were two major downtimes in the market. What you want to go back and look at those days when the market went down, how long did it stay down? How long did it take it to recover? That's how you evaluate that mutual fund, what is somewhere you want to put money in. It's not difficult. You just want to make sure that you understand what you're buying. And the most important part, who's actually running it? That's huge. Who is the money manager? How long has he been there? What's the track record of that fund? Why not just buy a few stocks instead of buying a mutual fund? I told you earlier that 85 to 90% of actively managed U.S. funds cannot beat the S&P 500. Isn't that amazing? 85% of the money managers that manage money do not beat the S&P 500. A bunch of stocks just thrown inside of an index is outperforming million-dollar money managers. So for the person that just wants a good investment, buy your index fund. It's got 400 or 500 companies. You're at risk. Mutual funds, where you pool your money, it gives you a better opportunity not to lose. I'd like to show this slide right here. Most managers don't beat the S&P 500. Over a one-year period in 2025, 79% of the money managers did not beat the S&P 500. Over the last 3 years, 67%. Over the last 20 years, 90%. So what does it say? Our performance rarely repeats. Funds that beat the market 1 year are often no better than a random, somebody just trying to figure it out. The index itself is hard to beat. It already holds the market's winners with no trading costs, no taxes along the way. So an index fund would be a great fund to invest in if you're new to investing. But if you're talking to me, I'm going to tell you the right index. I'm going to tell you the right mutual funds to buy. I want you to get good returns. Let's look at that. 3 pillars I've been planning. Investment. We're going to get to the investment stuff here just 1 second, but I got to make sure I set you guys up correctly. We said we're going to talk about retirement planning for a quick minute. There are 3 pillars to retiring. One is Social Security. Social Security is only designed to replace 40% of your current income, just 40%. Not 60, not 80%, 40%. The average Social Security check right now is about $2,081 a month, okay? Your pension or your 401k is guaranteed pension. Is only about 15% of companies right now have what we call a guaranteed pension. 15%. We're talking about school teachers, state employees. Even the federal government's out there, TSP, they don't even have a guaranteed pension anymore. They have a TSP, which is just like a 401k, which means they shifted the responsibility to you to create your own pension. Everybody got that? The federal government shifted your responsibility. Let me tell you how that happened. I'm going to take 2 seconds and tell you about that. In 1980, a guy named Ted Penner was a CPA working for a corporation. And back then, the federal government told the companies that own pensions that it'd take money from their profits to pre-fund those particular pensions to make sure they would be solvent. Mr. Penner went inside the tax code and found a code called the 401k. And we take our money and keep it inside our profits. So in 1980, that's when the 401k became prevalent. In 1984, the federal government went from a civil service system to a TSP system. They were one of the first ones to switch from a civil service to TSP. So what does that mean? That means you had to become your own personal financial advisor for your future. So if you don't understand your 401k, you don't understand how it works, you need to sit down with a financial advisor or somebody and figure out how that bad boy works so you can maximize the growth. Tim, you got a 401k, don't you? When you changed it over, did you get some better growth out of it? Hey, bring Tim, Michael. I want Tim to tell this story real quick. Not personal, I just want him to talk about the growth side of it. Before he understood this class, to after he understood this class, I want you to tell him about what kind of growth spurts you've had compared to what you were getting before. This is Mr. Tim Stigler. Everybody give him a hand. Yeah, Tim, talk about it.
Well, when I first got in, I didn't have
Can
any
you talk up a
knowledge.
little bit?
Okay. When I first came into Mr. Thomas' president, I didn't have much knowledge of 401k, and that was like, 3 years ago?
Right.
And so over the last 3 years, my 401k has jumped like over $25,000 a year. So
Wow, y'all hear that?
with the investment tips that he gave me. So
What was he doing before?
it was horrible. Horrible.
You see what knowledge does? See, not okay, but knowledge in action is what works. Here's a young gentleman right there, took his 401k to almost zero per year, to now he's profiting $25,000 a year inside his 401k. Pretty amazing, isn't it? Give him a hand. Yeah. Well, it works. He took control of his pension and 401k, and now he's in the charge, less than 55 years old, maybe 50, I don't know. But your personal savings is the second part. What you save is the most amount of money that's going to offset what's going on inside your retirement years. What you save right here in your investments, your Roth IRAs, your brokerage accounts, your stock portfolios, that's your future. And you Google, I want you to Google something called Bank Rate Simple Savings Calculator. Bank Rate Simple Savings Calculator. Go to your phones and Google Bank Rate Simple Savings Calculator. Everybody got that? Simple Savings Calculator. When you get that, let me know. If you need time, say you need more time. Did everybody go to Google and put that calculator up? Bank Rate Simple Savings Calculator. The reason I want you to do it on your phone is because I want you to know how to do it. I could do it on the computer, but I already know what it says, right? Everybody there? Bank Rate Simple Savings Calculator. Yes. Everybody there? Now watch this. Whatever age you are, we're going to talk about a 20-year investment. I don't care what age you are. We're going to talk about a 20-year investment, okay? We're going to talk about you starting an investment with $500. See where it says how much you start with? $500. You see that? And I want you to take $300 a month and put inside that investment every month, which is $75 a week. Everybody see that? Then I want you to take an interest rate of 12% that you're gonna get on the average per year on that investment. And I want you to calculate what that looks like. Who's got the numbers? $500, $300 a month, 20 years at 12%. Everybody got it? Real simple. How much is that? She got over $250,000, $278,000. What you guys got? Is that right? Now here's my question. How many people could go inside their spending plan right now and find $75 a week that's being wasted? How many people can do that? What does that look like? $500 a month over the next 20 years. Is that almost $500,000? At $125 a week? Now, guess what? If you put that money inside of a Roth IRA, the money will grow tax-free. You got it? You can take it out tax-free and never pay taxes on it. Everybody here should have a Roth IRA. You got it? So your goal is to go to Charles Schwab, open up your account. First, open up your broker. You need two accounts. You need a brokerage account first, then you need a second account, a Roth IRA account. And your goal is to put that money in there. I don't care if you start with $100 a month. I showed you $500 because some of you guys can put $500, some of you guys can put $1,000 in there. I don't want you to short yourself. I want you to know what your future looks like because you control it. That makes sense? Yeah. Any questions for me on that? So my question would be at this point, Charles, you're talking 10%, you're talking 12%, you're talking all this good stuff. Are we going to be able to get those returns? You're going to show us an investor going to do that? Absolutely. Now, lastly, I want you to understand this Social Security. If you're born after 1959, 1960, your full retirement years is age 67 in Social Security. Everybody got that? If you're born after, everybody got that? If you're born after 1960, your full retirement age is 67. Age is 67. And an important part about that, and an important part about that, you got to understand these credits over here. To get disability benefits, you got to have these credits at certain ages. Before age 24, you got to have 6 credits earned in 3 years right before disability. From 24 to 30, it varies. Credit for working half-time between 21 and disability onset. Age 31, you got to have 20 credits. I tell people, over 10 years, you want to accumulate about 40 credits. About 40 credits, that's working like almost 10 years in a row. You can qualify for all the disability benefits. You got to factor in disability inside your planning and understand what this looks like. This is a real benefit. Money grows tax deferred until the money's taken out. Most employers offer match, which is free money. Limited investment choice is picked by the employee. That's the only thing. But over here, I've got an example of a person making $60,000 a year. You're contributing 6%, which is $3,600 a year. Employer is putting in 3%. So you got $1,800 a year going in there. So that's about $5,400 a year that'll be going inside your 401k. Let's talk about it for a second, though. Let's talk about how that works. But you really understand, you got to understand this part. The way a 401k works, over here, what we call pre-tax dollars. That means the money comes out before it's taxed. Everybody see that? This is really important because this guy, he wants to put $200 a month inside his 401k. When he put that $200 a month in there, he dropped his pay down to $3,800 instead of $4,000. Everybody see that? His 401k contribution on there is $200, so his take-home pay is $2,468. Now look at the other side where the guy says, I don't want to put no money inside of a 401k. I want to just save my money outside the 401k. Look what he does to himself. The same $4,000, he's taxed on the $4,000. His FICA is higher, his federal tax is higher, his state tax is higher. Then he sets aside $200, and look at that. He brings home less money because he didn't put this inside the 401k. Is that amazing? So if you're going to save money, try to save it inside your 401k. So if you're going to save money, try to save it inside your 401k so you can enjoy the tax benefits. Same salary, $4,200, employer matches $1,800, total investment $6,000. But look at the blue down there. It says tax saved on contribution is $1,134. That means that the real cost was only $3,066. The $4,200 that he was putting in was actually only $3,000 coming out of his paycheck. So it pays you to put money inside the 401k because tax is going to pay part of your contribution. Everybody see that? That you put money inside your 401k. Any questions? Yes, sir.
So, what about if you want to match what your employer put in there? Then, like, instead of putting the extra 3% on top of that, what do you try to invest on your own with that money?
Okay. Yes, say it again.
What if you just match what the employer put in there for your 401k and the extra money that you would put in there, you do your own investment?
Okay, his question was, instead of putting the 6% in, what if he just put 3% in what the employer put in? Everybody got that? Did we realize that the employer's going to put in 50% of what? Catch it? You got to put in 6% to get the full 3% in this particular situation. Now, let's talk about that for a second. It's okay to put 5 or 6% of your money inside of a 401k where you got to match because of the tax benefits going to offset that. But any excess money, I would suggest you do invest outside in a Roth IRA or something. Let the money accumulate tax-free and take it out tax-free. Good question, Mr. Stegall. Good question. We tell people most time match the contribution, but it depends on what the definition is. Let's go back and look at that definition so you make real sure what it looks like. It says employer matches 50% of what? Contributions up to what? 6%. So if he had not put that 6% in, he would not have got the 3% match. So in that particular situation, he needed to put that in, didn't he? Yeah. So you understand it, okay? So it depends on each situation. That's good. Okay. It's not what you buy, it's also where. Your 401k, 403, that's tax advantage. Your traditional RA works like a 401k and 403b. The money comes off the top. Let's say you're a guy making a lot of money and you're paying a lot of taxes every year. So one of the things you might want to look at, once you match your 401k, then you turn around and do your Roth IRA. Once you do all that kind of stuff, you might want to come back and max out your 401k to save money on taxes. Roth IRA, money goes in after taxes. The money grows tax-free, and it grows tax-deferred, and it compounds tax-free, and you take it out tax-free. That's really, really, really important, especially for a lot of you young cats that have been in here, that got a lot of years ahead of you. Do you think tax is going to go up in this country or go down? You need as much money as you can in a tax-free account that's not affected by those taxes. That means you can take that money out tax-free later. So it's very imperative, start your Roth IRA, okay? We kind of just talked about that. And the latter part of some of the investment education, sometimes when people get at a certain point, they say, you know what, I've accumulated all this money inside this 401k. I don't want to put that risk. Where can I put it? Can I leave it with the state? Can I leave it with my employer? Can I own it myself? A lot of time, annuities are a great place to roll money over into. This is a prime example right here. It says how it works. An insurance company credits interest based off the market index, often S&P 500, if the index rises. If you earn a share of that gain up to the contract cap, the index falls. You credit 0 for the year, your principal isn't reduced. I want you guys to catch that. Very, very important. This is an annuity, 0 for the year, your principal isn't reduced. I want you guys to catch that. Very, very important. This is an annuity that's tracking the S&P 500. The S&P 500 went down 18%. A mutual fund went down 18%. A mutual fund went down 18%. But the mutual fund, 0. So inside of an annuity, 0 is your hero for long-term investment money. Y'all got that? It participates in the upside of the market, but when the market goes down, it does not participate, and your money is protected. Here's an example, for instance. Here's a guy had $200,000 The company gave him a 22% bonus for joining. He started his account out with $244,000 on day one, okay? That annuity had been producing around 8.67% a year for the last 10 years. So a day in years, $560,000. If that person left that money in year 20, we're talking about $1.2 million inside of a fixed investment that has zero risk. Zero risk. Any questions up to this point? We're waiting on food, I think, right, Candace? Yes. Yeah, waiting on those guys to come. Any questions at this point? If not, hey, Jamil, I need your help up here for a second. She's the expert. Oh, we got a question over here?
Please clarify how much, who qualifies for this annuity? How much do you have to get in this index?
How much money does it take to get inside of an annuity?
To start off, your basic investment or your basic amount to qualify to participate in this annuity index?
Here's what happens. Some annuity companies have what they call indexes. And they have an index like the S&P 500. Some of them have 5 or 6 different indexes. They take your money, and they take your money and they track those indexes. The money is not inside the index, but it tracks the return of those indexes, okay? And what happens, you get a portion of that return because the insurance company took the risk. It may track an index that may return 13, 14%. Your payout may only been 9 or 10% because the insurance company took the risk on it. Got it?
Right, Mr. Tom, my question is, how much do you have to participate?
Oh, to participate, okay. Most of them, they're starting around 25,000 to 50,000. That's kind of where they start at. Some of them even start at 10,000, depends on the company. Good question. My apologies, yeah.
So with this kind of account, would it make sense that if I retire and I have funds in my 401k, not to leave them there, but to contact you about a rollover for something like this?
Ken's got a great question. If you're retiring, let's say it's a T-drop or 401k or whatever, you got money sitting there, and you want to control that money, and absolutely you want to look at rolling that money over into your 50, and you got $5,000 or $10,000 laying around inside of an old 401k or something, $3,000 or $4,000. If it was me, this is just my educational opinion, I would convert it over to a Roth IRA and roll it into a Roth IRA. I would. Why do I roll into a Roth? I'm less than 50 years old. I'm going to roll it over into one of these funds. Let that baby keep working. I'm going to control it, see? You got it? Yeah. Take advantage of the markets if your age allow you to. Now, if I'm over 55 or 60 years old, and I don't want no risk, hey, listen, I want to roll this money over here where it's set, and I'm going to get guaranteed returns. And I can also pay myself a monthly salary out of it. That's what those annuities allow you to create a monthly income to yourself. So it depends on where you are in your career, but if you got old 401k money, or you're getting ready to retire, think about moving that money over to a good, safe annuity that's got a great history to it. They work well, okay? Any questions for me? Any questions? We're going to shift gears in a second, but I want you to understand that. Any questions? Okay, got a question over here.
What companies can you get a fixed index annuity with? Is it the same insurance companies or?
Well, you know, you got to be careful with that one because an annuity can be a very complex product. You got to be sure you work with somebody you trust because you sometimes get caught up in the contracts and there's a break-even period. You can come out of those contracts and make a ton of money. And there's a break-even period. You can come out of those contracts and make a ton of money. Or if you come out too soon, you could lose money. When I say you lose money, let's say you got $200,000 and the company says, okay, we're going to give you $44,000 to come join our company. They're going to take $44,000, add to your investment, then you turn around and start paying you interest on it. That's a good deal. If you hold it 5 or 6 years, that's a good deal. But if you come out before that 5 or 6 years, because they want that money to sit there and grow so they can get their investment back. So it depends on the company and your situation. It'd be hard for me to just call out any one particular company because there's so many companies out there. The key to it is finding somebody you can trust. Yeah, good question. Every month. When I start, I'm putting $100 in there a month, $200 a month, or whatever it is. I'm doing it every month versus a lump sum investment. What I want to show you here, here's a person that's putting $200 of money in every month. Everybody see it? He's doing it for 6 months. In month 1, the share price is $20. So he bought 10 shares. Month 2, the share price is $16, so he bought 12 shares. As you can see, the share price is going down each month. In month 6, the share price finally get up to $22. But the share price started at $20, didn't it? Everybody see that? The whole 6-month period of time, that share price kept going down, kept going down, kept going down. Everybody see that? Now, after 6 months, he invested $1,200. He bought 73.65 shares. The average cost of his shares was $16.29. His value of his shares at the end of 6 months was $1,620. How much did he start with? $200. What is his total investment? $1,200, right? Let's take a look at the real return on that. The real return was 35% on his money with the market going down. Did y'all catch that? It was 35% with the market going down. Can somebody tell me how he earned 35% with the market going down? Ms. Stiegler. Tell me how he earned 35% with the market going down. Ms. Stiegler.
Because that market went down, he was still putting the same amount of money in, so it kind of was like bottom down. He was still putting the same amount of money in, so it kind of was like bottom. It was like on sale basically throughout the time he was buying them. And when it came back up, he got all them shares for.
Everybody hear that? As the market was going down, he was still putting the same amount of money in, so he was accumulating what? More shares, right? So when the market came back up, he got all these extra shares in here, so the market value of his account did what? It went up. Now watch this, watch this, watch this. The lump sum investment, the guy put $1,200 in on day 1 at $20 a share. He bought 60 shares, not 73 shares, okay? He invested $1,200, and the market didn't go up until the 6 months when he earned $22. He had a total of $1,320. He made $120. Important that you do dollar cost averaging every month. Buy something every month. Don't just do a lump sum. When the market goes down, get excited. That's right. Companies on sale. When the market goes down, get excited. I had a stock one time, the market went down. I went and got a second mortgage on my house. I wanted it so bad. You know what I mean? I was so excited. I'm going to get me a quick HELOC on this one. Yeah. And it paid for itself. So what I'm trying to say, don't be afraid to invest in good companies. And that's where it gets interesting at. I call this hiding in plain sight. How many people here own Walmart? Okay. I want you to look at something here. This is $10,000 invested one time in each one of these particular stocks. And also this mutual fund we're going to talk about here in a second. The CD over 5 years would have grew to $12,000. Delta Airlines would have grew to $14,000. The Vanguard, that 3,600 stocks would have grew to $17,000. S&P would have grew to $18,000. Facebook would have grew to $17,000. Costco would have grew to $25,000. Google would have grew to $28,000. And Walmart would have grew to $29,000. Almost tripled the money. Y'all see that? The Fidelity Semiconductors Fund, write this down, FSELX. FSELX, the Semiconductors Fund, grew to FSELX, the Semiconductors Fund, grew to $56,000, and NVIDIA, which is a semiconductors company, AI company, grew to $105,000 during that same 5-year period. Same 5-year period. So here's my question. Let's go take your phones, and I want you to put Walmart stock YTD. Go Google Walmart stock YTD. That means year to date. You're going to go to Yahoo Finance chart. Walmart stocks YTD. I want you to go to Yahoo Finance. Everybody see that? Come help me out a little bit here on that. Go to Google for me, please. Thank you. She's going to put, I use Google, yeah. Whatever you do, it don't matter, yeah. You get it? Yeah. So, did you guys get the Walmart stock? Y'all see it in Yahoo Finance? Everybody got the chart up? Everybody see the chart? Okay. On that particular chart, Yahoo Finance chart, I want you to go to where it says YTD. YTD on that chart. Everybody got that? We're trying to get to it here. Just 1 second. Okay, that's it. Got it. There we go. Walmart YTD. Go down to Yahoo. Click on Yahoo Finance right there. Yeah. Now, what I want you guys to see here is really important. So you're gonna scroll up. All right. Now stop right there. Walmart is $114 this year. Click on YTD, Jamil. YTD. Right there. Yeah. Now Walmart so far this year is up 2.86%, right? Now watch this. Go to Walmart's 5-year return there. Go to the 5-year. You guys do the same thing. The 5-year return on Walmart is 150%. Everybody see that? So what has Walmart earned over the last 5 years if I took 150 and divided by 5? 150 divided by 5. How much? So if you've been investing in Walmart 5 years ago, you would average 30% of your money, right? Right in your back door, right? Is Walmart a blue chip company? Wow. Jamil, go to Costco. C-O-S, Costco, YTD. Costco. Let's go to the 5-year. $137%. Wow. Over the last 5 years. So Walmart's averaged 30% over the last 5 years. Costco's averaged almost 30% too, haven't they? Do we go there? Why are we buying their stock? They right in our back door. Everybody see that? We gotta start buying good blue chip companies. You could average 30% a year. Somebody take 30% and take 72 divided by 30% for me. Take 72 divided by 30. What does that tell you? 2.4. So every 2.4 years, you'd have bought Walmart, your money would have doubled every 2.4 years. Not 6 years, not 12 years, off the stock. Everybody see that? Jamil, put Micron in there, M-I-C-R-O-N, Micron. Micron is a AI company. MU, there it is, Micron Technology. Put them in there, Micron Technology, right there. Yeah, click that. And the reason I'm showing you this, I'm showing you stuff that's right in your eyes that's trending. You know it's trending. Go to year-to-date on those guys. What's their year-to-date? You know it's trending. Go to year-to-date on those guys. What's their year-to-date? 301%. Y'all see that? Go to 5-year. Go to 5-year. Go to the 5-year on Micron. That's 5 years. They've returned 1,281%. Did any of you guys have your money there? You didn't you? The point I'm trying to make, ladies and gentlemen, that investing isn't very hard if you just make it common sense. Walmart is a blue chip company. Costco is a blue chip company. Micron is an AI company. Y'all get that? An AI company. Go to Broadcom. Broadcom. B-R-O, Broadcom. Broadcom, another technology company. Go down and show me the year-to-date. Broadcom. 7.61. What's the 5-year? 680% over the last 5 years. Go ahead, Mr. Stiegel.
Okay. I'm looking like, how can you forecast that? Like, how do you know it's going to do? Like, how do you go about picking it like that?
Yeah. That's what them good advisors come in, that ain't it?
Walmart is hospital even.
Yeah.
If you keep having kids and your kids keep having kids, they're going to keep going to Walmart.
That make it even simpler. Put Google in. We use Google every day. We want Google now. Put Google in. I'm just trying to show you guys the simplicity of building a stock portfolio that is not that difficult when you just use common sense. The Alphabet, yeah, Google Alphabet. Yeah, I think they're the same, aren't they? Yeah, there it is. So put in year to date, 12.99%. Look at that, almost 13%. What about their 5-year history? 189%. You use Google every day. So you can't be afraid to invest. Go to FSELX real quick. We don't let them go grab a bite to eat. FSELX. There it is. Semiconductors. Everybody write this fund down. You got to have this fund, okay? Let's go to the actual page on Fidelity. That thing's done up there. Go to the page on Fidelity. That thing's done up there. Go to the page on Fidelity for me.
You want to go to the Fidelity site?
Yeah, you just scroll down. It's down there. You go to it. Yeah, keep going down. Yeah. Keep going down. Oh, there it is. I think they had it. Go back up. There it is right there. Y'all see that? Year to date, this particular fund, this mutual fund I need you guys to buy, don't cost me $25 to get in it a month, 70% this year. How many a month? $25. Don't cost nothing to get in. And look at the one, if you bought that 1 year ago, it would have been 155%. Y'all see that? Hey, let's grab a bite to eat and we'll come back and finish up real quick. But I want to talk about that fund, how you can get it, okay? Let's, in Jesus' name, amen. All right, let's go, let's go. You did good. Y'all hear that? 36% a year for the last 10 years. It's not up there. I guess we could look at more. But this is the Cadillac fund right now. This is a technology fund. It's got a bunch of artificial intelligence stuff in it, semiconductors, all that stuff's in there. I think we hit more up there, Jamil. See what it showed the 10-year turn. If not, we may just run to the actual site right here on the page right here. Right there. Where it says more to your right.
More to my right.
A few more, yeah. See what it's got right there. Yeah. Okay. Okay, scroll back up right there. Okay, there it is right there. Now I really want, let's go to the Fidelity site on it. On the Fidelity site. These are, you might have to hit the back button on that, I guess. Yeah, go to the Fidelity site and put it inside that site. And we'll go down to the second one. Keep going back. Yeah, right there. And when you get to the site, just put the search engine up there, FSELX. Okay. Yeah, there it is. Go up there where it says, there it is. Go to the top right up there where it says, how can we help? Top right. How can we? Are you going to put it there? Yeah, okay. FSELX. Okay, there it is. Okay, there it is. Now scroll up. Yeah. Right there. Stop right there. Now, guys, this is where I want to tell you about what I was talking about earlier. This fund is 67 to 70%. It's a 5-star fund. Returns are high. Expenses are midway. This category is fine, but inside this particular fund, it has composition here, it has performance and risk. All those areas, I want you to go inside that fund and look at that. I don't have a lot of time tonight to go into it, but you can do it, okay? The objective, this fund for the last 10 years, you see it? What's the return? Limit it down. We'll go up some. Keep going. Okay, you inside the deal there. Oh, right there, right. Okay, guys, you see this? You see where it says FSLX? Well, it had 228,000 in there. Did you? I want to go back to the original chart there. Which says, here, it's 228,000. Yeah, right there. See, right there. You see where it says FSELX has $228,000? That means if you would put $10,000 in that fund 10 years ago, it would have grew to almost $250,000 by itself. Now let's compare that. Compare that to the S&P 500. If you put the same money inside the S&P 500, what would you have? 42,000, right? The reason for that, this fund has a phenomenal manager. This guy's been kicking butt for years. The fund's been around since 1985. For you to start your beginning investment journey, this fund needs to be inside your portfolio, okay? The second part, the reason I want you to have a Charles Schwab fund, Charles Schwab account, because I do want you to buy some individual stocks. I want you to buy some Walmart, some Costco, some Google, some Facebook, some stuff you do every day. You can buy those stocks. As you can see, they're pretty good blue chip stocks and they will grow, okay? Now, if you're an older person and don't want to have the risk, don't want to deal with the risk or scared of the risk, that's fine. We can find you some low-risk investments to put your money. But the bottom line to it is that you cannot afford not to invest. Would you agree? So any quick questions for me before we close this out? Our time is almost up. Any quick questions for me? Yeah, Doc. Is that the actual name of the... Yes, sir. FSELX. And the reason I want you to go on Charles Schwab and buy this particular fund, because on Charles Schwab, you can put all kinds of mutual funds on there from different companies, from Vanguard, from BlackRock, all of them. Charles Schwab got them on their particular site. If you went to Fidelity and bought this fund, and you saw another fund on Fidelity's site, Fidelity might require you to spend $30,000. Did you guys enjoy the class? Yes. Okay, real quickly, this is your worksheet to take home with you. And you guys probably should have been getting a lot of notes when I was going over this. I didn't go to it, but this is your worksheet. You want to take this home and fill this out. And maybe we can get together, we'll get with the church, we'll do a part 2, where we'll go inside the funds and the stocks and stuff and actually demonstrate it. you guys are interested in something like that, get with Candace and she can get a date and we try to get it coordinated, okay? Now, here's my contact information. If you need help, call me, all right? Call me. My number is 501-438-9823. And that is actually a cell phone number. 438-9823. Y'all got my business cell phone number, so call me. My office number is 501-263-8840. My email is cthomas@waterstone, just like it sounds, waterstonefp, like frankandpaul.com. cthomas@waterstonefp.com. Now, you have no reason not to get started because I put myself out there to help you. This is like a ministry to me, and I want to see you succeed, okay? So shoot me an email, shoot me a text or whatever. Probably ought to text me first to make sure it's you. That's my business cell phone numbers, so it may give me a day or two to get back with you, but I'm checking it more often now. Okay? cthomas@waterstonefrankpaulfp.com. Yeah, she'll send it out to you guys, okay? But don't let that be an excuse, because I'll find time at my office for you to come by there and visit with me. One on Rosalind? One on Erica? One on Miss Rainwright? When I find time? When I Tim? So I'm trying to say, guys, come see me. Let's talk about it. Let's get you going so you don't have any excuses. Other than that, we're good. Hey, where's this guy? Give him a hand, guys. Give Arvest a big hand. How many RS employees are here tonight? We got 1, 2, 3, 4? Oh, man, and they're young employees, guys. So, Marcus, man, we've enjoyed working with you and Arvest, and just want you to have a few words to say before we close the session out.
Yeah,
okay?
So Arvest prides itself in really underwriting this so that you all can show up and really learn and really take from all of these experts that come through and talk about things that they do every day, things they talk about every day, people that they help every day. So I just want to say thank you all for coming out. We really appreciate it. Arvest is really proud to be a sponsor of Money Matters. We've been doing this now for 10 years running, so obviously we enjoy it, but really want to thank you. And what we're doing here tonight is really planting seeds. So we ask that you take the information that you get this evening and in previous classes and share it with your family members, cousin and them, and make sure that they have these little bits of nuggets so that they can continue to grow and build their financial knowledge. Because really, lives start to change when we take charge of our finances. Whether you know it or not, a lot of marriages have issues over money. And so when your money's right, it takes a lot of pressure off of you. It takes a whole lot of pressure off of you. And so really banks have a purpose, and that is we should use them as leverage.
Absolutely.
As Deacon Thomas said, when you use the bank as leverage, you borrow money for a short period of time, you pay it back as quickly as you can, but it's designed to help you get ahead. And so I work for the bank, obviously. We have credit cards, we make loans, all those things, but really the purpose of this class is really to help you become debt-free. And so just really proud of you all showing up and really taking advantage so that you can contact us if you guys have questions, because we know we throw a lot at you in a short period of time. So thank you all for coming out. And I could talk all evening now, but I'll stop. Thank you.
Hey, thank Arvest. Thank Arvest. Hey, listen, we're getting ready to close out. I don't know if you guys had a chance to meet Minister KJ. Minister KJ is our new discipleship pastor. We're excited to have him. Mr. KJ, thank you. Thanks St. Mark and the ministry staff and Pastor P for supporting us on this holistic approach. St. Mark believes in being holistic, trying to take care of the whole man. So we're going to let you close us out tonight with prayer and send everybody home. Hopefully it's like what about it.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Deacon Thomas. Thank you, Candace, and the rest of the Money Matters leadership team. I'm going to pray us out, if you will, bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity to learn how to steward your resource that you have given us. Lord, I pray that everyone from this session has gotten everything that they needed to better themselves personally, financially, and I hope that they have gotten something out of this that will help them spiritually. Lord, I pray that everyone here have a safe drive home. Everything that they left from this morning or from the time that they came here be better than they found it. I pray this prayer in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen.